So let's install it. Let's do it. Let's play Project Spaghetti. Let's finish this off. I agree to sell my soul to myself. There we go. Desktop shortstop. Install. And there we go. Start. Let's not do full screen because otherwise it'll get cut off for you guys. I can do 720p. Let's see if it fits. Actually play it a little. Oh, let's drop it down. Yeah, let's play it in its proper glory. It's gonna be a little bit cut off at the bottom, I think, because I'm not using a 720 monitor, obviously. Oh, and let me step you through a couple of these things. Let me turn the background music down a bit. Stepping through some of these things. It's all in the manual, but just to step you through it. Options, graphics, resolution. Obviously you can set things. If you set this all the way to the right, you can use keyboard, mouse, whatever. Set it all the way to the right, it goes full screen. And you can drop it back down. It's pretty straightforward. The only thing that I want to make sure to let you guys know about is the full screen thing. Color aid. For a few weeks you guys were seeing those circles around, like the bullets and the enemies, and the reason I put those in there was if you did happen to be colorblind, that information is not going to get to you, because I'm using like reds and greens and blues and things like that to show bullet speeds and enemy strengths and things like that. So I wanted to, for the colorblind people out there, wanted to have a color aid. So if you turn this on, it'll turn circles on. The more circles, the more deadly something is. Shader, this is like when you go into that last stand mode and you've got that shader on the screen. Just on the off chance that a shader causes a problem with someone's computer, I wanted to make sure that this was there so they could turn it off if they wanted to. Particles, I think I still want to do something in between. Because you can either enable them or disable them. If you disable them, it's a retro game. If you enable them, you've got all the cool effects and stuff. But, like for example, playing it on the Note PCs or when Pandavits was streaming at the same time as playing it, it could get a little slow. I think the bulk of that is because of the calculations with the weather stuff, like the dust blowing across and the rain coming down. If I could get like something in between enabled and disabled that just disables the weather, then I think it could kind of get the best of both worlds. If your computer's kind of slower, but yeah, if your computer's a little slower, but you still want particles, that could do it. So that's all about that. Music volume, sound volume, that's pretty self-explanatory. Controls, you can obviously customize your controls. I don't have a controller plugged in right now, but if you did, the buttons would be definable here. You can set defaults, usual stuff. Network. This requires a little explanation. Connection on. It's on by default. If it's on by default, what happens is, kind of behind the scenes, as I said, everything that goes into making a game, from concept to completion, behind the scenes, it goes to a spot on bluetengu.com, grabs like an information file, and if there's anything in there, it'll kind of show this news down here. It'll go through the news items. Also, if the version has been upgraded, like for example, if I make some of those fixes that Pandavits has been talking about, and I do upgrade the version, I can put it up on the itch.io, obviously. Obviously it's free, because fixing bugs should always be free, obviously. But if it goes up on there, maybe this is going to be the only way I can announce it to you. Itch may or may not send emails to you, I'm not sure how that works. Obviously, if you will follow the show, you know when versions are coming out, but just in case. So like version 1.0, if it goes to version 1.10 or whatever, as long as online is on, it'll recognize that and tell you, hey, you've got a new version available. Network, this is the Twitch stuff. And I turn connection off when I do this. I probably don't need to do that anymore, to be honest. Because before it was logging you into Twitch every time I did that. And I wanted to make sure I didn't lock anyone out of their Twitch accounts. So this is where you put like your username. I think I still have a spaghetti bot. I'm using the input from just GameMaker and Windows, which pops this very generic thing up. One problem, I mentioned it in the manual, but one problem with this is if you do have it full screen, and this window pops up, it screws up the resolution, so you have to go back into graphics resolution and fix it. I'll try to see if I can find a way around that. Unfortunately, I don't think GameMaker works full screen with messages coming on top, so we'll see. Password. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna show that online. Let's see. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, because I know I have an OAuth password somewhere, but I'm not sure if it's the password for Blue Tengu or if it's the password for that spaghetti bot. Guess we'll find out. I think I do have the spaghetti bot password. So let me let me jump off the desktop here for a second while I put that in. That'd be awesome. Someone going wild with spaghetti bot. Okay, I do have P spaghetti bots. Let's do that. So there's P spaghetti bots password. Go off there. Channel still Blue Tengu, but I'll change my name to P spaghetti bots. And there we go. So we're going to log in as P spaghetti bot and turn the connection back on because I'm done. And let's see, with the fresh install, if I go into the game, all the doors are locked, except for the first one, which leads to the first cowboy stage. I'm using the mouse right now, like for example, Beaveronics was in here earlier, hurt his wrist, but you can theoretically do everything with the mouse. I'm used to doing it now, so it's actually what I do all the time now, but it takes a little getting used to compared to keyboard, which is more natural. To do the unlimited Twitch mode, I have to go into here. By the way, PandaBits, here's the thing PandaBits is showing. If you use the keyboard and mouse at the same time, it moves really fast. Just a feature until I fix it. So, if you picked it up on HIO, you should have gotten a key file. There is a description of what to do with that key file. Let's see if I can get in here. Project Spaghetti. Key files. And it should be the silver 5 key. And go to Explorer. Yeah, don't worry, I'm not cheating. This file is actually it comes with the game. So yeah. This is what I'm playing right now is the actual installed version of the game. So I cannot cheat. I have none of my debug commands available, which is why I have to do this key thing. But I mentioned it in the manual in a bunch of places because I wanted to, as much as possible. But because GameMaker tries to keep your computer safe, obviously, it puts everything in the app data folder. The problem with that is it's kind of hard to find. So this is user in Japanese, by the way. So if you go to C drive, user, for example, your username, app data, local, project spaghetti, all the stuff is in here. If you just drop that key file in here and exit, just in case. It might read it if you just go back to the title screen, but starting that up again, move it up, get that back, get my Twitch feed back, there we go. Yeah, and PandaBits, user. Yes, that is it. It is user. User. So if I start the game now, because I have that key file in the folder, it should announce that I got the key. And it should unlock that door. Oh, thank you. It works. Okay, good. Yeah, I tested it a bunch of times, but you never know. Never know. So, if you follow that method to put the key in there, the other thing you can do is if you type in app data with like little percents around it, it should take you to here. You'd have to back out one, go into local, Project Spaghetti, and then dump your key file in here. And if you paid for the $9.99 version, you also get the Sapphire key, which goes in here. So what that does is kind of an early thank you, is it unlocks unlimited mode. So we can go in there. And And Bone Crusher says, does the resolution go up to 4K? And Pandabit said 16K. No, it would be trivial, I guess, to add those resolution options in, because there's no detail. It's a pixelated game. It's designed with the original like Commodore 64 kind of resolution style, so all it would literally be doing is just scaling it up bigger. So it would be no skin off my back to support 4K, but you wouldn't get to feel like the ocean waves coming through or whatever like you can with a 4K TV. I saw one the other day. It's awesome. It is very cool. And whoops! Every time I check the chat, it's got to do this. Let me see if I can check the chat on my notebook. That'll be the way to do this, so I don't pause every time. I need to survive though. And Pandavit's asked a question. Glad he shot. Did all the work for me. Kind of an odd question, but how much English does your wife know? I'm assuming she's Japanese. If she knows some, she can at least watch the show herself and interact with people in chat. Yeah, she does know English. That's how we first met. She was in the States. So, yeah, she knows English. Probably not as well as she would, but could probably jump in the chat, I suppose. That'd be one way to get her involved. By the way, if your Twitch connection is working, you will see your channel up here. So that's how you know you're connected. And in unlimited mode, I think if I got myself killed. There we go. You only get one chance at unlimited mode. Yeah, Blue Tengu, member of the Japanese Mafia confirmed. Yak Yuza. Yeah. That's me. So I started off with my piddly score of 360. Let's see if I can beat that. Use my splody bullet. Get the scorpions. This is the way I found to defeat them. Obviously, the cool people will bounce bullets off and kill scorpions that way. Problem with the splody bullets is they are slow on purpose. Yeah, Pandavits, that's actually a really good suggestion. I'm not sure how keen she would be into it, but it would be an interesting suggestion. Yeah, exactly. Who's this Pandavits or what's a scrimp? You know. Yeah, exactly. I would have to at least describe what a scrimp is. She does know Decent Scrimp because, like I said at the beginning of the show, Decent Scrimp and I are friends in real life, so she has known him. He actually officiated at our wedding, so he helped put us together, I guess. Oh shoot, I need to pay attention. Time's running out on me. Time does run out on you. Come on. Oh, I'm hosed. Come on. Oh! Whew. By the skin of my teeth. Yes, and Pandavits, it is PS present time. Just to show you, by the way, Pandavits and other people who are going to be streaming this, inside of that same directory where you put the key file, there is something called networkcommands.ini. This is described in the manual as well, but just you know, it's easier to see it than to hear it described in text. This is where all the commands are kept. Like, for example, to give me more time, you just say PS present rest or PS present time, you know, things like that. These are all the alternates and stuff like that. The variation count is the number of like different ways you can say the same present. So you could, for example, change this to 10 if you want to. It just means there's more to check, so maybe it would affect processing. I don't know. I just left it at 5 because 5 ways is probably enough. And you can customize these. You could say, for example, every time someone says scrimp to reset time, you can completely customize these. If you want to add more variations, it's easy enough. You just have to do this. Say like 4 PS present scrimp. Scrump. You just have to do this, and you can add variations. Once you get up to 5, then you're going to have to change this number, otherwise they get ignored. And Oh, I've got 2 4s in there anyway. So you can customize this part as much as you want. You don't have to use the exclamation point. That's just to kind of break it up. If you wanted to make your game kind of crazy based on chat, like I could do that. Every time someone says, "Duh," I get a shield or something like that. You could do that. You could totally do that. And if you screw this file up completely, all you have to do is delete it, and the game will remake it for you. So there you go. I tried to be nice about that. Yeah, Bandit sending the cactus love. That's probably not gonna help the things. We'll see. Okay. Yeah, now that I don't have debug, I'm not used to not having debug commands, so paying attention is not something I'm used to. Present Spiker. Interesting. I wonder if it was because the cactus was overlapping it. I'm a little worried about that if the spiker isn't showing up properly. Let me try that too. Yes, present spiker. That could be something. Oh, okay. Yeah, it was just because your present was overlapping, so that should have been what the problem was. Oh! How perfect is that? How perfect is that? Cirrus gave me a bounty present, and the bounty that shows up is Cirrus. Oh, that is brilliant. Yes, and now I've got a shield which bounces bullets, and I've got a spiker which does... my spiker went away. The power-ups do go away over time, so let me give myself a spiker again. Just to show you what that does. There we go. Things go nuts. Man, I'm out of bullets. Oh, they got us. Shoot, I need to hit that scorpion. I need to pay more attention. Pandabit's calling a bounty, so the bounty will show up on the other enemies around here. Got my boom headshot achievement against the snowman. Oh, shoot. At least snowmen are good for the last chance. They blow up. That's the good thing about them. There's the bounty. House of Klaus, who wasn't here today. That's too bad. Would have been nice for House of Klaus to see himself in the game one more time. I need to get to that part before House smokes me. Yes, got the House of Klaus bounty. Ah, shit. Ah, waited too long. Yeah, it's very intense. Like I said, this is the fun mode. So I definitely wanted this in the game, as scary as it was to depend on Twitch for stuff. That is the game in a nutshell in terms of like this. So if you want to interact with your Twitch viewers, you just have to set up Twitch like I showed you. You can use that key. Well, let's see. Pandabit sent a bounty, so let's get that bounty. You can set it up just like I showed you. And Cirrus again. House of Klaus. Obviously, if you do set it up for Twitch, your users can, or your viewers can really put a crimp in your style.
Last chance.
I got something I can handle this. Oh, smokes. Ah. Can't handle the combination. And it works with the Christmas tree and smokes me, of course. Ah, thank you, Panda. Oh, this doesn't work for both lasers. Yeah, whenever I get the spiker, I get trigger happy and run out of bullets.
Last chance.
Oh. Wow, I am not doing very well at surviving here. So as you can see, this mode can be very tough to keep going in. especially if people are sending you bounty presents and whatnot. But there's the chaos of the game. And, let's see, is there anything else I need to kind of show you here? This link just takes you to I think the Blue Tengu page, so don't worry about that too much if you want to go. Starting a new game. When you start a new game, you come to this screen where there's different fireworks again. You come to this screen where you can choose different areas. Obviously, Pandavits has been through these. They're locked until you can actually defeat the bosses and get the keys. If you complete certain challenges, you can finally unlock this door. And inside, by the way, if you bought the Sapphire, if you got the Sapphire key, you're gonna need to get in there first. So you'll have to complete those challenges. That's where that video should help you figure out where to find the gold keys to unlock this door. But there's a lot of keys and a lot of secrets and things I've strewn about in the game, so see if you can find them all. And let's see, is there anything else I have to describe? I think that's about it. I think you're good to go. Every time you play through the game, you can go through New Game Plus, New Game Plus Plus, Plus Plus Plus, Plus 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 Plus. The enemies get a little faster, shoot faster, things like that, but you can keep it going. Extras. Okay, before I finish off, I have to show you this. Statistics, obviously, how much time you've played. I put that in last week. Bullets fired, total record. Obviously, I've only played like one really good game, so that's that. But achievements, the different achievements you can unlock. Later on, if it did get on Steam, obviously those will be tied to Steam achievements. But credits, let's go through these. B. Grimm, Steve, Bob, Dottie. They didn't do very much work. This guy did work. And James Tamorian Bailey, Brandon Gay, Tomoyo Kimura, different people I know in real life who helped me, and of course special thanks to Pandavits and Cirrus. You've been with the show for a really long time, and I definitely appreciate it. The other viewers, you're all in here. I think Bone Crusher should be showing up soon. Let's see, there's a couple of B's. Beaveronics. Been around, like I mentioned before, gave him his props. Bone Crusher. Yes! There you are. So, just people who follow the show, I wanted to give you the props. I like sharing the love as much as possible. But Pandavits asked a very valid question, which would be good for finishing off the show, and that's, what is your plan for updates and patches, providing a patch file which will be read by the program or a new downloader patcher? I looked into GameMaker patching. Looked into it a lot. I spent a lot of hours looking into it to see if there's a good way to do it. There isn't. Long answer short, there isn't. The only way you can really get away with patching the bits of the program, or just bits of the code, is if you separated all of those bits out into external files. It's like if you made an external script, or you made an external DLL, or sprites or whatever, and you kept all those separate, then you could probably have an installer that just overwrites those and everything's hunky-dory. Anything I'm going to be patching is probably going to be mostly code stuff, and it'd be really, really hard and kind of inefficient to break that stuff out into separate files. So what's going to happen is, if you get a notice that you have to update, what you're going to do is, I don't know if itch update, I don't think itch automatically emails you. So you'll just have to pay attention to that thing at the bottom. The first message that comes across will say there's a new version available. If there is, you should be able to go over to itch, grab the file again, and if you install again, just click, 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 install. Put it in the same place. It won't overwrite any of your save data or any of your keys or any of that stuff. It'll just overwrite the program itself. So it's not auto-updating or anything like that, but that's the only way I can figure out how to do it. If I do find a better way, I would love to do it, but it is manual. So you do have to grab a new file, do the usual install process. It looks like you're installing a new game, but you're just really overwriting the old one. You don't have to uninstall the old one. In fact, I don't recommend doing that, because who knows what it will delete. But in terms of game data and stuff like that, not your hard drive, don't worry about that stuff. But yeah, so that's not great for updates. Of course, every week I'll let you know what updates are coming. I will be here next week as well, from the usual 8 to 10 time. Try starting to do the patchwork then. Like, for example, Going to that task list. Going to that task list. Where is it? Did I accidentally get rid of it? No, there it is. So like, you know, the Scorpion boss after taking damage disappear. Some of these bugs that have shown up thanks to Panda Bits. Probably start working on those on the show. And obviously, if I have a stable release, and in terms of stable, I don't mean made the fix. That's probably okay. I mean stable as in I've compiled it, I've played through it once here, once on a laptop, kind of a separate computer to make sure there's no hidden files that are, you know, only causing it to work on this system. Then I'll put it up on itch and let you guys know. I think as well itch does give me a list of your emails to anyone who bought the game. So I guess I could send emails out that way. I don't want to spam your inbox or something, but probably for now, I guess the best way to go about it would be to just announce on the show where we are with updates, and I'll show you like the task list. I'll keep all that stuff on Trello, and it should be okay. Yeah, and Pandabits, you don't need to salvage save files or anything, but if you are worried, all you have to do is go to this folder and just copy this somewhere else. If you are worried, it's not a bad idea because it'll keep, you know. By the way, netlog, if something goes wrong, you can check the netlog to see where it failed connecting to Twitch or something like that. Just to go through what these files are. PDH check is like the hash that checks to make sure the game data wasn't tampered with. This is the game data itself. This is just something GameMaker makes. But in the any file is configuration stuff. You can overwrite this without screwing up your game. Like, for example, if your resolution is all screwy, the resolution is kind of hard to do in here, but if, for example, you want color assist mode on, you can turn it on here as well. If you screw things up, you can always delete this file, and it'll reset your settings without resetting your game. The files you do not want to tamper with are the files you do not want to touch unless you want to start from scratch for kicks are these two. If even a single letter is changed in one of these files, it'll probably screw everything up. So don't, unless you have really elite hacking skills, I wouldn't recommend going in here and doing anything with these. Anything with any of those, fair game. Silver key as well. It won't break the game or anything if you messed with the silver key file. It just means the silver key won't work anymore and you'll have to re-download it. I'm not sure why you would go in there and fix it, but if you wanted to, I suppose you could fiddle with it, break it, and grab it again. But if you want to keep your game progress, do not protect these files with your life. There you go. I think that kind of covers it. And Panabit said, "Man, you already have my email." Well, yeah, I already have your email, so we're good. And Panabit said, "I do not have great hacking skills." So yeah, I would recommend not touching those files. So here we go. Whew, instead of the 4th of July 4-hour special, it turned into the 4th of July 5-hour special. I guess it's appropriate since we did actually technically start on the 5th of July last year, 4th of July American time. I do want to, once again, the most important thing to me is that you guys have been with me, making this fun. And I don't think I would have stuck with it if it wasn't for this live show format and, you know, meeting Pandabits and Cirrus and Bone Crusher and all of you guys. If the game doesn't sell for nothing, well, all right, the few copies that you guys picked up, if that's where it ends, I still wouldn't regret it. I still am very, very happy that I did this and very glad to do it. I hope you guys did get something out of this year. I hope my rambling didn't just make you look back when you're an old man and think, man, I should have spent that time learning Ikebana or something more useful. I hope you don't look back when you're old and think this time was wasted, because I definitely won't. Thank you guys for watching and for supporting the show. Let me jump off the desktop and give you the usual. The spiel. Let's find the spiel, just so I can get my times right. So yes, thank you for watching our game development show. You can catch past episodes. Not sure whether to put this one up on YouTube or not yet. We'll see. But you can catch past episodes at youtube.com youtube.com/Blue Tengu Studio, all one word. If you're watching this later on YouTube, come drop by the live show we do every week on Twitch TV Blue Tengu. I'll be completely honest. If you've made it to this point on the YouTube video, you're a trooper. It's much more fun live. It's more interesting. You get to ask questions. I get to chat with you guys. I hope it's a lot more fun. And the show is going to go back to the 2-hour thing next week. So if you're in the States, that's Fridays 4 to 6 Pacific, 5 to 7 Mountain, 6 to 8 Central, 7 to 9 Eastern. If you're in the UK, that midnight from Friday to Saturday to 2 a.m. Saturday is when the show is. If you're in Japan with me, it's bright and early, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Saturday morning. Why aren't you sleeping in? If you're in Australia, it starts anywhere from 7 to 10, depending on where you live. And if you're in New Zealand, it starts at 11, Daylight Savings Time, I believe. We do always announce what we're doing through Twitter, so follow Tengu to keep track of when the live show starts or episodes go up, or follow us on Twitch or YouTube. And of course, you can see what we're up to anytime over at bluetengu.com. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for buying the game. And thank you, Beaveronics, for dropping by again. Yes, we're still going, but we're just wrapping up now. Just played the game a little bit. And Sirius, thank you for saying good work on the game, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate all you guys. Even, if there are viewers out there who haven't purchased this game and don't want to, no worries. I'm still happy to have you guys watch the show. It means a lot to me. And every time you follow and stuff, it means a lot to me. My big challenge going forward is going to be figuring out how to market this and actually get people to see it and buy it. But first things first is patching it, getting that stuff ready. So, if you have a friend who's interested in this kind of game, give them a little nudge and a wink. Get us to that dream. But thank you for watching, everyone. I will see you next time.